could you just tell us who you are? Just a quick intro.
Yes, please. Absolutely. Try to keep it brief. Yeah, my name's Carlo, and I guess almost have a serial entrepreneur. Worked on various different startups and businesses. I started up different businesses over the last about 9 years now, and currently run a private concierge company where we work with clients from all around the world. And apart from that, I love giving back and doing good. So been involved in various charity projects. On a personal side, I also consult as a management consultant. So consult startups and small businesses of how to grow, scale, and reshape. Especially now during COVID, it's been super tricky. So obviously, people not being able to work as they normally could. Therefore, obviously needing to adjust and see how they actually going to run the business now. A lot of things have changed. So I think that's been very, very positive. So we've had actually a lot of really good clients and people come on board who just needed help to rethink how they do business, to be more effective, to help them grow, not get stagnant. And that's been really good. So that's been a quite busy part last year, 2020. And so just being relevant to the market and adjusting how we work and what we do. So that's kind of what I do and who I am in a nutshell. Keep it short, but yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, obviously, given the current situation with COVID, which has affected everybody around the world, and particularly, I mean, I know there's been a small business on myself in terms of running a business. I mean, we sell worldwide, so we've seen the impact of that. But also being based in England, we've got Brexit that we have to deal with. So that's sort of another story. So from your point of view, like, what are some of the practical things that you've done? Because it sounds like obviously you're still in business somehow. You're still managing to get clients. You still manage to do stuff, which aside for majority of the SMEs, medium-sized businesses, has been a very difficult time. What would you say are the practical things from your point of view that you think has sort of helped you throughout this current situation? And what would you say to anybody who's going through a tough time in terms of business or just personal what would you
totally.
say to them?
I mean, I always like to keep things practical. The fact of the matter is no one really knows how to deal with the situation now. So we're all in the same boat. So I think the first thing I say to everyone, don't feel like you're alone. Don't think you're like the one person who doesn't get it and everyone else does. Everyone puts on a nice little profile online, looks like they're doing great, but actually everyone's, struggling in in different ways, emotionally, physically, financially, whatever that might look like for you, or even from a health perspective. So you are not alone. You're not the only person who's just, not knowing what to do. So that's the first thing. I think the second thing, especially during these times, is practical advice is keep close to your friends and people you trust. Keep a close network. I think not only from a mental side, but also from a business side. Especially now, everyone has their skills. You can't be everything. You can't do everything. That's one thing I've learned with the concierge company. And it's just really important to kind of, especially that. But you can't do everything yourself. And I think having a good network of people who can help each other with different things. It could just be a call or a text message or an email, or just if it's anything like I've had a lot of things. If it's financially, if it's a skill you can support or add to another business or an individual, it's not only satisfying, but it also actually helps you grow your network and push forward and add value in other people's lives. One of the key concepts I would definitely share with you and everyone else is the way I always saw networking, and I completely misunderstood, is always what can I get from people, which is obviously the normal thing you would learn is like you go into a networking event or an online Zoom call, whatever you want to call it now, and be like, okay, so who's in a room, what's their titles, what can they give to me? And it's not only a selfish way of thinking, but also it's not very effective, because I think as soon as you have that mindset, you're always going to come from a position of lack and need and desperation, and that never looks good. No one likes someone who's looking desperate or needy or who just wants to take. People like givers, and that's a psychological fact. No matter if you're a Christian, atheist, Buddhist, whatever you are, that's a proven concept that works. So I always say, if you can run a business and start a business, and even if you have a business now, always think about not what can I take, but what can I give? What value can I add to people's lives? If you have that as a bottom strap line in your business, what kind of value can I add to this person's business, to that person's life, you'll always have people not only remember what you've done, but also come back to you because they trust you, because they see you as a resource, not as someone who takes. And I think that's the most effective way of networking. So your network is only as good as not who your network is, but only as good as how much you give. That for me, that's a big difference. So always, especially now during this time, build a network. You might not be able to give millions of pounds. Everyone's struggling financially, but it is something you can give, even if it's just an emotional support and say, hey, how are you doing today? Checking in with your business friends. So especially around the business world, just make sure you have a strong network. That's the second thing. And a third thing is, I think, also think differently. Learn, educate, read books. I think that's another good thing you can do at the moment. Just rethink how you do business. You might think you know it all. Trust me, you don't. No one knows. And the more you know, the more you realize you don't know. And I think that's an important thing to remember. I think, with anything, in life, I think, learning from others is key. And so get a good book, and just always educate yourself online, especially what the market's doing. There's some really good, tech platforms and also magazines that you can link into just to kind of be up to date with things, whatever your preferences. But, it's just good to stay up to date. So, I think those are the top 3 things I'd recommend.
You know what? That's absolutely amazing, because actually you touching on some very basic foundation of actually what a business is, which is a business is all about providing solutions. So it's about providing an answer to something, to a problem. If there's a problem, you're trying to provide a solution. But then also you touched on the fact that it's about, you can't do it all by yourself, and that's essentially what resilience is. So resilience is not always about not just giving up when things are tough, but it's actually always having that humility as well, and asking for help if you need to, and asking people that can potentially add value to in terms of business or your life to achieve your vision of success. And so being able to actually say, I actually need your support, I need your help, because you're more equipped or more skilled to do this and achieve that, is actually a good thing. So that's good resilience and good humility. But then also, in addition, I think you find that people that always think they know it all, the ones that plateau and support, and they never really reach their full potential. Some people have asked me in the past, Haggai, what about these people that have either made some millions, but they're very arrogant and they seem to know it all, and they always but you know what, I say to them, okay, the truth of the matter is those particular individuals actually have potential to actually even be more than where they've got to, but because of their pride, that's made them plateau and they can't grow anymore. But actually being a teachable person, always continually learning, talking to people, that's why we're having this conversation. We talk and we learn and we understand how things work in the market, reading books. I was speaking to last week, I was speaking to a really successful entrepreneur. He's currently running 3 businesses worth £500 million each. So he's very, very successful in his adult businesses, whatever, and he's in the process of buying a football club. And I was speaking to him 2 weeks ago, and one of the things that he actually said to me was what you've just said, is always make sure that you always continue learning, reading stuff, talking to people, but also your network, the people that you surround yourself with, also can help you to achieve your vision of success or get through this time. So, for example, you need to have people around you that will challenge you and push you to be the best version of yourself, to push your business, and they're not just kind of kissing your backside all the time. So you also need people like that will not only challenge you, but also push you to be the best and inspire you to be the best version of yourself, which is absolutely brilliant. Very true. So in terms of what you're doing, in terms of what you're providing for your clients at the moment, and if there's anybody who's sort of looking for ways to sort of get in touch with you and talk to you about what you're doing, what can they do?
So you're saying how get in touch, or what do you mean? Sorry, I didn't quite understand.
So if there's any potential, anybody that might be watching this that would want to get in touch in terms of your services and what you provide, what can they do to?
I mean, as a concierge company, we basically work on a very different business model. So we don't really do any marketing. We have no social media. It's strictly word of mouth.
Okay,
So it's a very niche target market. So it's completely under the radar in that sense, just because I think our clients' privacy is the most important thing. So, but if it's we always work on recommendation word of mouth. So I guess if anyone is interested or might need a help in terms of concierge requests or specific things they don't know answers for, they can get in touch with you and then let you know what it is, and then obviously you can refer them on if you know them. That'd be great. But as a consultant as well, specifically, I mean, I'm also helping businesses. If someone is needing help and needs help with either anything from reshaping their business to starting their business, or even from a rebranding perspective or branding perspective, if we need help, and if that includes anything from creating the brand deck to actually building a full website, that's something we especially do for startups. And there's ways we work in a very ethical and fair and very, very, very well priced way. But especially around sort of the hand-holding side of things, where we come on board as co-founders without any commitment. So we basically do what a co-founder would do without giving us shares or anything like that. It's obviously completely non-committed. But we really think the value is coming close and being proximate, because to really understand, to give good advice, you need to be really close to the business to understand what they really need and what they want. You can't do it from the distance, and obviously nowadays it's harder because obviously everyone's far away. But there's definitely a lot of different ways how we can connect. One of the ways we really connect to our businesses is we offer free business workshops. So before we start working with any business, we'd always do a free workshop, and these are amazing. Like they're very, very good just to identify the needs, who they are, where they're going, and then we can really just go deep and dive deep quite quickly to really understand what they need to move forward to the next step. So we do really cool business workshops, normally about an hour and a half, 2 hours. So one for business reshapes, one for the growth and scaling of side of things, even a rebranding workshop we do, and also we do other workshops like investment workshops. If businesses are needing investment, knowing where to get money from, that's especially important now. I mean, and most businesses who really want to scale need some sort of investments. That's another thing we offer as a workshop, which is great, and work with a whole bunch of amazing legal partners that help facilitate that and make you ready for investment and for pitching. So we really prepare you bit by bit. So yeah, no matter what business you are, we work with anything across beauty, fashion, tech, healthcare, anything. So yeah, but it's just because the concepts in many ways are very similar. So yeah, very happy to help and support. And I've got an email, so I can give you the email. And if anyone wants to DM or ask a question, very happy to support.
So how do you motivate yourself? Is it, obviously, because you sound very busy and sort of a hectic lifestyle, and that can be. I mean, speaking for myself as an entrepreneur, sometimes that's a lot, and you get to points where sometimes it's just a bit too much. It gets on top of you. How do you motivate yourself? For example, when I'm feeling that I've just got a lot on my plate, I'm so stressed. How do you motivate yourself? What do you do? So
I think it's. I mean, for me, I'll be honestly, in certain ways you have to be think for others, but in other ways I think you have to be selfish sometimes. So for me, one thing I do is, if I want to be productive in what I'm doing, I need to be in a good mental space. So for me personally, if I'm working in an environment which is not very empowering, it could be the office I'm working in, or the space I'm working in, or the people I'm working with, I'll remove myself. And you have to be selfish in certain ways, because otherwise all my clients will suffer and everyone else who is around me will suffer. So, one of the decisions I've made to come work here, obviously at the moment, is just because I can work a lot more and do more effectively. So just one of the decisions I've made. Everyone has to make their own decisions, but I can't speak for others. But it's just, even from a practical, small perspective, like, what are you doing to motivate you? What drives you? And that can be, for example, I mean, I'm just thinking practically, you from a biological and sort of physical perspective, the healthier you eat, the more energy you have. If you're eating crap, you won't have much energy, you won't be able to focus much. So eating is a big part. Working out is a really important part. Even if you just do a 10-minute stretching session, that's great, because you're actually getting your metabolism going. So it's just being logical and sensible and treating yourself with kindness, just because otherwise you're not going to get anything done, and putting yourself in a good mental space. I always, for example, I'm quite a social person, so even just having a chat with your business partners or people you trust and rely on a regular basis, just to have, you know, some sort of balance. I think it's very important, even if you're working from home. You know, I think those are simple things, or, you know, thinking of what's your favorite snack, your favorite smoothie, or, you know, there's little things that you can give yourself as a reward when you actually achieve a little milestone in your working day. And I always set myself practical daily milestones, and every time I achieve a milestone, I give myself a little reward, whatever that might be. So yeah, just create something. Don't. And people are also scared to do what they want, because they think, oh, we have to, you know, we need to do what everyone else is doing. But like, do whatever suits you best. You know, if you're constantly worried about what everyone else thinks, you're never going to go anywhere in life. And that's never
right.
So yeah, that's
Boom. Yeah, I like that. I like that. And to be fair, that's literally what, to be anywhere, any person who's been successful, like, you can't be a people pleaser, because you could be the nicest person in the world, not everybody will like you. And I see this all the time. You could be the nicest person, not everybody will like you. But also, I think, in addition to myself, I also revisit my purpose, knowing my why, you know, so really understanding your purpose and knowing why, so revisiting that. So times where you feel deflated, so if anyone's watching this, you feel deflated, you feel like you're just kind of you're losing that traction, motivation to do what you're doing. I think it's always important to go back to the drawing board and revisit why and purpose, why you're doing what you're doing. And it goes back to the first thing that you talked about, Callum, around the giving principle, you know, because that will then sort of push you through that challenging time when things are really tough and you feel like, actually, I can't go on anymore. So on that note, what drives you? What's your passion? And obviously you moved to, you're currently based in Cape Town. I mean, what's driving you? What's your drive in terms of why you do what you do?
Well, it's definitely money. No, I'm joking. No, I'm joking. The complete opposite.
It certainly helps.
Definitely helps. But it doesn't drive me. I'm just joking. No, that's one of the things that definitely doesn't drive me anymore. That's a whole other story. No, but on a serious note, what drives me? I think it's seeing impact. I think impacting whatever you're doing. If you can see a change around you, if it's in a business, if it's in a person, if it's in a situation, that thing makes me, so I like to see results. I'm fairly results driven. So if I'm putting X, Y, Z time into whatever and nothing ever changes, and like, is that actually worth me doing? So I think it's more about impact. So for me, the thing that drives me is impact. And no matter if it's working with a charity, if it's, you know, running my business, if it's supporting someone, if it's giving a motivational speech, you know, if I can see an impact that is actually empowering, changing, uplifting someone's life, then that for me, it's worth it. So, because time is money, and you know, and I think there's always that's a big. You can always make more money, you can't make more time. So for me, it's always something I keep in mind to never forget. So use your time wisely. But yeah. So what's driving impact?
So just to round things. Just to round things up. So, if there was a message that people who are watching this, if there was a message that you wanted to take away, what would that be? And also, for anyone who's watching this, if you've got a question for Carlo, real quickly, just post it. Thanks for everybody's. I'll try and read the comments later. But thanks for everyone who's put the comments through and joined us through. But what sort of message would you want people to take away today?
Good question. I think specifically around the business side of things. I mean, I think one thing I'll tell everyone is you'll never feel ready for anything. You'll never feel at the point where you're ready to go, or you're ready to launch, or you're ready to grow, whatever it is. I think you always have that doubt where, can I do it? That's never going to go away. I think being realistic with things is so important. You're always going to feel challenged. You're always going to feel like what's going to happen next. That's okay. And I think just knowing that that's a fact of life, that you will never feel ready, that you always feel, you know, uneducated, undervalued, under whatever that is, you always have that. But I think it's always remembering that you no matter how difficult things are, no matter how you know, how much lack you might feel in that moment, there's no point just not doing anything, because nothing's ever going to change. So I think a big one is, for me, is like just acknowledge that feeling and then still move on, you know. And I feel sometimes some days you be super productive and super effective and super motivated, and others you feel like you've done nothing. And the second thing would be kind to yourself. You know, be kind to yourself when you don't do well one day, or when you mess up, or when you don't achieve anything. That's absolutely fine. I think the more kind you are, the more you accept yourself, the more effective you'll be in the consequence of it. So that's completely that's really, really important. That's one thing, two things I've learned. But yeah, that's probably the final take on that.
Right. Boom. That's awesome. That's awesome. Because you know what it is. Just in addition to what you've just said, I think a lot of people have got dreams, you know, and I say want to achieve their vision of success, because everyone's success, you know, it's different, and so I think it's great to have a dream, but coming down to what you're just saying, it's also about taking action. So you can have a dream, but then you got to put that dream down on paper, so make it into an affirmation, so you start to affirm that. And then, but it's not just good enough to affirm that dream and the goal you want to achieve. It's career, it's starting your own business, it's a family, relationship, whatever your vision of success. It's great to have all those goals and dreams, but at the same time, you've got to put them down on paper, start affirming those things. But then when you get to that stage, it's also about then taking action, so you start doing. And then, you know, what Carl's saying is, it's not about being ready, because you'll never be ready. It's about doing what can you do now. You know, you could say, you can make up, anybody can make up excuses. I don't have any money to start a business. You know, what can you do now? There's stuff that you could be doing for free. Talking to people, reading books, researching, you know, starting reviewing your CV. You know, go on a dating website, for example. You know, the practical things that you can actually start doing that are actually free. But the key thing is action. So you've got a dream, you are affirming stuff, you've written your business plan down, but you also need to start doing stuff in order for you to achieve your vision. And also, failure is not a bad thing. Actually, failure, that's how we learn, that's how we grow. The most people that are more successful in this life are the ones that have failed the most. So you just keep going, you continue to be resilient, you keep talking to people, as we've talked about it, you keep doing your research, continually being teachable and humble in what you're doing, and enjoying the process as well as you're doing it. So
very true.
Yeah,
very true.
But absolutely amazing, mate. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. I think we definitely need to do it a bit longer next time, maybe about 45 minutes or so, because I'm really enjoying this, and you bring so much value, and I can see people feeling the value of what we're talking about, which is absolutely amazing, and that's definitely from you all the way around. But I'm loving what I'm seeing in South Africa, you know, and I'll keep pushing and promoting you. Just what I remember, because that's what I'm about. I'm about promoting people. Just plug your the Camel link again. Are you still doing that?
What's that?
The Cameo. Yeah, Cameo.
Yeah, we're doing that. Yeah. Cameo. Yeah.
Just plug that real quickly, please.
Absolutely. So explain that.
Just plug that.
Sorry, say that one more time. I didn't hear that.
Plug that. The Cameo.
Sure. Yeah, no. I mean, anyone who, you know, cameos are just a fun way to engage with me and to interact. So if you guys want me to, you know, talk to you about anything, if you have any questions, practical questions, you can actually DM me on there and ask me anything. So specifically around business, if you've got a question, you're stuck with something, or we need some help or thoughts or feedback on anything you're doing, feel free to DM me on there. The link is in my Instagram bio at Carlo Baker, all small together. With a K, by the way, Carlo with a K. People think it's a C. Get my name wrong every time. Yeah, exactly, Carlo Baker. And yeah, feel free to DM me. Or if you want to, I also do some really cool video responses. So if you want to do like a video shout out, if it's a birthday request, if it's a message of encouragement, or just a cool video to brighten your day, very happy to respond to that. So always available for that. And yeah, as I said, just get in touch, and love to hear from you.
Boom, yeah.
Thanks, brother.
Right, brother.
Thanks,
God bless you. And
thanks,
yeah, we'll catch up soon. And speak soon. Thank you.
Cheers.
Take care. Bye-bye.